got all these devices here. So first thing first, I will go on to the switches and the routers and do the configuration part. So I have to go to the say router, and so let's go to the switches first. Let's configure the VLANs, and let's put the the interfaces into particular VLANs or make them trunk. So if I go to switch 6 first, let's wait for a while until it boots up and go to the switch 2. It's also booting up, and I can go to R3, let them boot up, and also R4, and then I have R5. I will do the ASA once I have configured all these routers and all. Okay, let me go to the switch 6. Okay, it's coming up now. Let me see. So switch 6 is my outside switch. So let me rename this first. Let's minimize this like this so that I can have the full screen. Switch 6 is there. Yeah. Okay. So this is fine. Now I'm using the VIOS images. Even the IOL images will work perfectly fine. So I'll go enable here, config T, and I'll change the host name as switch outside. Yeah, so that there is no confusion here. So for on the outside, what I do is I have to create the VLANs, which is VLAN 10 and 11 I need, and I'll go exit, and then I have to have the VLAN 11 and also exit. Yeah, that's done. I just need to have the VLANs there, and then I can go to all the interfaces and make them trunk. Interface range gigabit 0 bar 0, 2, 1 and 2. Yeah, and I will say switch port trunk encapsulation .1q. Yeah, and then I can say switch port mode trunk. That's all I need to do on this switch. I can go exit and say show interfaces trunk. I should see all the VLANs being allowed on that trunk port. So that is done. I will just now I don't need this, and also I need to check the VLANs so that I can do show VLAN brief, show VLAN, or also summary is there. Yeah, I can see not with the summary. I can see the VLAN brief command, and I can see I have VLAN 1110. That's it. I will close it down. I don't need this now. Now let's go to the inside switch, which is switch 7, and I will also rename this to switch inside, enable, and then I have to go into the configuration mode, and then let's say host name, and this is switch inside. Okay, now here gigabit 00 and gigabit 01 are part of different VLANs. So first of all, I need the VLAN 20, exit, and VLAN 21, exit. And then now I need the 03 and 02 to be trunk. So let's go to interface range gigabit 02 to 3 switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, switch port mode trunk, and then exit. And then I need the interface gig 00, interface gig 0 by 0 to be switch port mode access, and this will be part of switch port access VLAN. This is the 20 side, and then interface gig 0 by 1 is going to be part of VLAN 21. Yeah, exit, or I can say and I can say right, and I need to see the interfaces being part of that VLAN. So for that, I can do first of all interface trunk to see the trunk interfaces, which is 2 and 3, gigabit 2 and 3, fine. Then I can show interface status to see the interface 00 is being part of 20 and 01 part of 20. So this has been done, and also show VLAN brief. I need to see. Obviously, that should be there. The VLANs, yeah. So these are VLANs. So I'll just close it. I don't need it now. Now let's go to router 4. Let's go to router 3 first. Hit no. Router 4. Hit no. Router 5. Hit no to the initial configuration. Now let's go to router 3. So this is my outside router. Here, yeah, this one. So here what I need is I need two sub interfaces, and I need to configure the IP addresses on them. So how do you do that? So first of all, you need to go to the physical interface and unshut the interface. So that's the first thing you do. Let's just put up. Okay, now it's done. Enable config T. Change the host name R3. Now you go to the interface. I'm also inside of configuration mode, interface 0x0, and say no shut. And then you exit out of that interface, and then you go to the interface gig 0x0 dot. So this side it should be 10. I need one interface, and then I need the other 11. Yeah. So let's go to the 10 first and say encapsulation dot 1q, and then the VLAN. So this is my 10. So I'm using this for VLAN 10. Then I can say IP address 192.168, and this is going to be 10.3. Yeah, and then the /24 subnet mask. Good. Now exit. Now I need to go to interface 11, 0.11, and this will be tag bit 11, and then the IP address should be 11.3 this side. Yeah, and I'll say right. So I don't need anything else. Just that I need to enable the telnet. So later on I can telnet from the inside to outside. So let's go here, config T, and I go to line VTY 0 through 4, login, transport, okay, password, Cisco, login, and transport input all. So that's said and done. Exit, and now if I see show IP interface brief, I should have the sub interfaces configured up and running with IP addresses. Exit. If I ping those interfaces, it will be successful. So if I go here and do this, ping is successful even for the 11.3. So my router has been set up. The outside router R3 done. Now let's go to R4, which is my inside router on VLAN 20. Let's configure this quickly. It should not take time because I need just the okay. Let's configure the host name and interface gigabit 0x0, no shut. IP address is 192.168.20 dot. This side is like 4. Let's keep it with the router number 4. 255.255.255.0, and the did I say no shut? I think yeah I did. And I need a default route which is IP, which will be pointing towards the ASA IP route 0.0.0.0.0.0.0.0. My gateway is going to be 20.10, which is going to be the interface on my ASA. Okay, so I will keep as 10, and so I can keep as 20 and 21. So that's better. I go for 21 as the IP on the ASA. That's it. Now I can just exit here and show IP interface brief. If I do, I should see the show IP route. Also, if I do, I should see the route, the static route pointing towards 20.21. Okay, let's go to R5 now. Enable config T, host name R5, interface gigabit 0x0, no shut. Now this side is like 21.21, right? So on the other side, I configured R4 with the IP address of which one? 20. IP address of 20. Yeah, this is 21. And I think this, let me see, I can change this later. So right now here I need is IP address of 192.168.21.52552552550, and also I need a route, IP route uh, on this side is 192.168.21 dot say so I can keep this as 21 again. I will keep that side as 20. So let's do that. IP route, sorry, I have to specify all zeros and all zeros here. This is 21. I need to change this, and I can go to show run and check the static part and remove that and replace it with 20. So I don't need this. Yeah, I can go here and say no, and right click here. Yeah, instead I can go and say 20.20. Okay, that's it then, right? And now I can just minimize these. Now let's start with the ASA. So what you do, first thing first, don't forget to change the mode. Enable show mode. If you do, it should be multiple. Now how to change it? Mode multiple, simple, confirm and done. Do the same on the second ASA. This one, enable config T. If you see show mode, you should see single, and then you say mode multiple, confirm, done. Now let's go to ASA1. Now everything has to be done on ASA until the failover has been set up. So let's wait for the ASA to boot up back online. Now the active needs license, so I'm using 9.1.5, 9.15. So you can find this image. It has I mean license, so that you can practice the active as well as the clustering. So I will show you. Once you do show version, you will see the licensing part there. Let's wait for a while until this is back online. Great, you can see the license here. The licensing part was here. You can see. Sorry. You see the failover active right there. Okay, so here you can see show version, and you will see the licensing part here. So you have the where is the active? Yeah, failover active, right? Usually you see active standby, which doesn't need license, and also you can see clustering enable. Anyway, so that is the, so I'll go enable config T. First of all, I'll change the host name to ASA1. This is my ASA1. Now first thing first, bring up the physical interfaces. So interface Ethernet 0, no shut. Interface Ethernet 1, no shut. Interface Ethernet 2, no shut. Interface Ethernet 3, no shut. 3, no shut. So let's go to a notepad quickly so that I can just type in these commands there, right? Interface Ethernet 0, no shut. Interface Ethernet 1, no shut. And then interface Ethernet 2, no shut. Interface, even though I don't need interface Ethernet 2, but yeah, it's just that habit of typing it, right? So I can go copy all this like this and go to ASA2 as well. So this is my ASA2, enable config T, and I'll paste it here. So all my interfaces are up. Exit, show interface IP brief. If I do on ASA2, all the interfaces are up. On ASA1 also, if I do show interface IP brief, it should be up. So that is done. Now let's start with the context part. So if I see show context, I should see the admin context there only. Yeah, admin context. So I need to create two contexts, and then I have to create the sub interfaces. So let's create the sub interfaces first. So I need to create interface like here. I'll go here and I'll say okay. So what I need to do, interface eth 0 dot, I need to create 10. Yeah, and then I need to create exit. Then I need to create interface eth 0 dot 11 on the outside. Yeah, and then I exit. Oh, okay. Before that, what I need to do is I need to say VLAN. Here, how you tag the VLANs inside the interface, and VLAN 11, right? And then again interface eth 1.20 VLAN 20 exit interface eth 1.21 VLAN 21 exit. So this is the command that I need to put in for the interfaces and the VLAN tagging on the ASA1. Okay, some okay, interface 21 was not taken because of the spelling mistake. This should be fine now. Copy. Config T, paste it. Yeah, so if I go here now, show interface IP brief, should not see an IP address, but I have the sub interfaces there. Now if I go here, now let's create the context ctx1, yeah, and allocate interface. This is my context 1. I need the 1.10 and 1.20 on this context 1. So I'll say allocate interface eth 0.10. Okay, so it should be like this, and then I need the 1.20. Yeah, and then I will specify the config file disk ctx1, where the config file will be saved. Now that's it and done. Exit. Now I'll create the another context ctx2, and then I'll allocate interface. Now for this I need 0.11 and okay, Ethernet, like that, and I need 1.21, yeah, and then the config URL disk and ctx2. Great. Now I'll exit from here. Now once I've created the context, right, and also assigned the interfaces to that context, now I need to go and create the this failover groups. So for before that, I will create the failover itself. So for failover, what I need to do is failover LAN interface. Then you specify the name. I will call this at failover. Then the interface Ethernet 3. Yeah. Then you say failover interface IP and the name fail, and this is going to be on the 192.168.1.1.255.255.250, and my standby IP on the other side is 192.168.1.2. When you configure the standby, right, this puts the interface on monitor. That means if this interface goes down, then the failover will be triggered. But if you don't configure the standby, that means that interface is not monitor, and that failing of that interface will not trigger the failover. You will see this when I type the failover show failover command. It says this interface is monitor. So if I go here now, if I say show failover, in this case, okay, let me see. So this is the polling and all. Not now. Wait. So I configured the failover interface, failover IP. Now I need to configure the failover key is Cisco, just for authentication. Then I have failover link, and I'll say failover link, and then the name fail, and then the interface. This is what I need if I'm using the same interface as the failover link as well. So I've configured the failover LAN IP LAN interface, then the IP, then the key, then the failover link. Now I need to specify the failover group 1. Now here you say primary group 1 I'll keep as primary, and also I'll enable preempt, right? And then I'll go to the failover group 2. I'll say this is my secondary, and also preemption is enabled here. Now exit. Now here you need to go again to the context ctx1 and say this is member of join failover group 1, and on the context 2 you say join failover group 2. Done. Now you enable the failover command here. Failover. You have to do this before you configure anything on the ASA2, because you want both the context on ASA1 to be active first. Remember, if you do this failover command on the ASA2 which is blank, it may it may not, but it will override the configurations on ASA1, because it will push the configurations to ASA1 if ASA2 becomes the active. Yeah, so remember to make ASA1 as the failover first. And if you check the failover for here, you can see, as I said, wait for these to be negotiated and this will be active. So I want to show you the okay, once the failover is up, I will show you the monitored interfaces that I wanted to show you with the help of the standby this IP. Yeah, let's wait for this to come up. In the meantime, what we will do is we'll go to the on the notepad and type the command that needs to be so here I'll do show run failover, and let's copy all the failover commands. I just copy and I'll go to ASA here. I don't need this, on the top, I don't need this actually, these one. Yeah, I keep it on the, and this is my Cisco. Okay, I have to specify this failover LAN unit primary that I forgot. Here I have to specify as failover LAN unit secondary. Okay, good. So that has been done, and also the IP address, everything is same, just that this needs to be like this. Now on the other ASA2, just remember, so if I see show failover here, now you see now this box, this primary host, right, is active for both the context, and secondary is not detected yet, so keep it like that. Let's go to ASA2 here. Now this is a blank firewall. If I see show failover, nothing is there, right? Off, failover off. So now I'll configure these and I'll push it. Done, and then I'll activate failover. And now I'll wait for the active mate to be detected. Now it has detected active mate, so the configuration replication has begun from the mates, and you can see it has received the configuration for the context 1, context 2, and everything else. So if I configure, you can see the host name has been changed. Show interface IP brief, if I do, you will see now that I have the sub interface is created. Even if I do show context, all the context should be there. Yeah, so first part we have done. Now if you do the show failover here, now just see the change. Now for the group 2, this secondary box is active. Now here you saw that it was active for both the groups, right? Now if you do show failover, you can see it is active for the context 1, and it is on standby for the context 2, which is the other host is active. So that is how the active and standby is working right now. So now this is only one thing that we have done. So now to check, because I said like context only the changes should be done on the active box. So for context 1 this is active, for context 2 this is active. How would you know? I'm checking on the host name, they are both same, you should be confused, right? So there's a command prompt host name failover, or you can say context and then say state. You have to do this on the primary, and you will see this the active and standby being shown here. Now when you change to context here, change to context ctx1, you will see this is still active. But here, if you change to context CTX2, it will say that this is standby, because context 2 is active on your ASA2. You go here, you can see this is active. So that means now, if you want to do any configuration changes on context 2, you need to do it here. And if you want to do any changes on context 1, you need to do here. So let's start with the context 1 configurations. So now if I go into show interface IP brief here, I should have only 2 interfaces, Ethernet 0.10 and 1.2. So let's configure. So with this, I mean dot 0.10 is my outside, right? So I need to go to the interface, Ethernet 0.10, name if outside. So all the configurations will be done in the sub interfaces now. IP address 192.168.10.10. 255.255.255.0. If I hit enter here, it's fine, it will be taken. But the problem is this interface will not be monitored. If this interface goes down, the failover will not be triggered. But if I say standby 192.168.10.11, which is the other side, and enter, now this is monitored. This interface is, I'll show you that. But this is one interface. Now I need to go to the other side, which is interface ETH 1.20. If you go to this, yeah, this one, enter. Now name is inside, this one is inside, and automatically the security level will be set to 100. Now I need to configure the IP address. IP address 192.168.20.20, or you can say 10. This should be 10. This side should be 10, and that side should be 11. Okay, that's how we will keep. So I have to change the R4 this gateway, because I configured as 20. Yeah, I configured as 20. Let's keep this as 10 and the other side as 20, because I mean it's like the VLANs, right? 190. Okay, so I cannot see this here. Let me just expand. 192.168.20.21, or we can see keep as 20 as well. 20 and 21. That is better. That sounds, because the other side is 21, the VLAN. So let's keep this as 20. Fine, that's done. Exit. Now I need our default route towards the route outside 00, which will be pointing to R3 192.168. I don't need this actually. I'm just going to, so let's leave it like this. I don't need this, but in case you do, you have to point it towards the ASA. Sorry, R3. Yeah, 00 192.168.10.3. Yeah, you can do this. Okay, sorry, I forgot to mention the outside interface like this. Then I need the NAT. Okay, so for this I need a NAT with from this pool. So for this context, so I'll go and say object network pool, and then I'll say range. So I'll take a range from this IP address, which is 10.50 to 192.168.10.100. Okay, then I'll go and create another object for inside object network, say INS, and the subnet is 192.168.20.0 with a 24-bit subnet mask. Now here I configure the NAT statement. Simple inside, outside, a dynamic NAT, dynamic, then the pool. That's it. Done. Yeah. Now the context 1 is done. If I go and say write memory, that's how you write to all the context. Now here I want to see the show failover. Now you can see the monitored, right? Outside interface normal, not monitored, because on the other side I don't think I have the interface there. So I have, for the outside is 11, for the inside is 21, outside is 10, inside is 20. So this is for the active box, this is for the standby box. Okay, so if I go here now, if I say show interface, show IP, you will see the active and standby IPs here. So this is for the system, and this is for the current. So that means I'm in the active of context. So if I change to context, say change to context ctx2, and I do the same, okay, change to context ctx2, and I do the same command show ip here. uh, okay, so I've not configured for the context 2. I have to go to the other box, so that would be different. If the ips are same, that means I'm in the active context, right? Okay, let's exit from here. So this is done. Now if I go to okay, now if I go to show interface ip brief, now I should be able to reach the what the r4 and also the r3 from the context. So now if I go and change to the context ctx1, which is active on my this show interface ip brief, if I do, yeah, so I can ping 192.168.20.4, which is my r4, and also I can ping the external 10.3, which is my r3. So the context 1 is working right now. Okay, so let's go to the context 2. How you can go? You have to go to the active box, which is my ASA 2, to configure the context 2. Now to configure context 2, I need to see here. Okay, so for this side I have, okay, I'm in the context 2 already, and if I do show interface IP brief, I should see two interfaces. So let's start with interface Ethernet 0.10, 0.11, yeah, and nameif is my outside here. Nameif is, let's say, outside, and the IP address is going to be 10 192.168.11 dot, this side is 11, 192.168.11.11 255.255.255.0, and the standby is 192.168.11.10. So now if I go to the other this one, and I do the show IP that I did on context 2, but I cannot do this on the context 2 because that is not active context. Yeah, so I can do it here on this active box. I mean, I can go and specify the context command. If I go and say change context ctx2, I can do that, but this should not be done. So I can do the show IP command, and it will you will be able to see the IP that we configured there. Now let's go to the other interface, which is 21 1 dot. So you can see when I configure this here, nameif, you will see this on the secondary box. Has been assigned to interface 0 1. Sorry, this was inside. This is inside IP address. So now this side is like 21. So 192.168.21.21 255.255.255.0, and the standby is 192.168.21.20. Yeah. So if I go again here, you will see that the IP has been reflected here. Okay. So that's said and done. Now I need again a route. You can have a route, or you don't need a route. Depends on the testing you are going to do. So route outside 00, and my next hop is 11.3. So if you ping 192.168.11.3, which is router through 3, it should be pingable. And also if you ping inside router, which is 192.168.21.5, that should be pingable. Yeah. Now I need again natting from the secondary box, which is done by the object network pool, and the range here is from the 192.168.11.50 to 192.168.11.100. Yeah. Then I go again, I create the object network for the inside, and then I'll say subnet, which is 192.168.21.0 with 24 bits subnet mask. Yeah, and then I say the name Nat statement, inside, comma, outside, dynamic, and the pool. Yeah, and if I show NAT details, you will see the NAT there. Show Xlate, you will not see any translations because this is dynamic. That's said and done. So now if I go here and see show failover, I can see that my interfaces are here, inside, outside, and this is the active box. This is the secondary box for the context 2. This is the active one. Okay, so if I go to my change to context here, change to context system, I want to go to the system and say shift say show failover. Yeah, context interface, all these interfaces are there. Now let me show you something to you guys. So let me be again into context here, change to context ctx2. So on firewall 2 I'm on context 2, and on firewall 1 I'm context, let me go to change to context ctx1. Yeah, so when I see here now r4 to r3, I will create a telnet session. Sorry, is this, and now I need r4. So let's go here, enable, and then I'll say a telnet to 192.168 10.3. yeah, now here if I see the show connection, there will be a connection there, and here it will not be any connections, because this traffic R4 is going from the context 1 of the primary box. You can see that here, even if you should see the show Xlate, there is a translation for 20.4 going to 59. I mean, it has been translated to 59, but the concept is that you can see it will not work, but I will when I try again it should work. Yeah, so if I go here Cisco, so now you see that this traffic has gone through the context 1 on ASA 1. Now if I go on R5, this should go from this context. Yeah, so if I go here and say enable and telnet on 192.168.11.3. now if I go here again and say show con, you see 11.3. yeah, and the inside is 21.5. You can see show Xlate, so there will be a translation of 21.5 to that pool. So .91 has been taken. Yeah, again I have to work. I mean, the first try doesn't work, and this will work. Cisco 1, only Cisco, yeah. And show users, if I see it will be the .91 that was translated here, right? This one. And here also on the R4, if I go, I mean R3, so exit. So on the R5, if you see, the 59 is the other one. This is the one that we are using. Okay, so that's said and done. I'll exit from here. Now I want to show you the failover. So for that, what I'll do is on the active context on both the firewalls, what I'll do is I'll create access list out permit ICMP any echo reply only. Okay, yeah, and then access group out in interface outside. So I need this on the other ASA, which is this one, and then access group out in interface outside. Now any so R4 and R5 will be able to ping the outside mode 192.168. say this one is 10.3. yeah, this is successful through the firewall. And also on R5, if I ping 192.168.11.3, this will be successful because of the ACL. Now what I want to do is I will create continuous pings. So I'll keep a repeat count of, say, something like this, some crazy number. Okay, fine. Here also I'll do the same thing. Repeat some crazy number. Fine. Now I go to this box. Okay, and I go to the system context, change to system. Yeah, and I say failover active, and the group is 2. Yeah, now I'll see show failover here, and now it's active on both the groups. And if you go here and see show failover, now it's not active on the wait a second. Yeah, you can see in the name itself, you can see it has changed, but you can see the ping was not, I mean, dropped, right? It was continuous. Now that was the failover. It was very quick. Now let's imagine the whole box going down. So if I go here and say failover active, no, I have to go to the system, change to context system. Yeah, now I say failover active group 2. Now I've taken a back from, if I see change to context ctx2, it will be back to active. Yeah, you can see active here also. If you go and say again the failover command, you will see this has gone to standby. Now let's imagine that the whole box fails. This ASA 1, which is R4, is using, right? So let me do one thing. I'll just go and reload this box. Yes, and yes. Please try again with a yes. Confirm. Shut down. Gone. Now you can see there is a drop of packets, but after some time, the ASA2 here, this one, should take over as active. I see right now it's on the standby. No, not like this. If I go to change to, see the I mean, ping started again. Now if I go to change to context system and say show failover, I will see that this is active for both the box. But now when this box boots up, this will preempt, and again the ASA1 will be active for context 1, and ASA2 will be context for active for context 2. So let's wait for this to boot up, and you can see the pings are continuous, and there was a drop when the whole box, I mean, there was a major failover, right? The whole box went down, but still your network was I mean, had resiliency to heal by itself because using the failover, right, feature. So let's wait for this to come up again on this part. Let's space. Okay, wait. Do show failover, still there. It will take some time to boot up, right? So let's wait. So should take the failover for the context 1. Yeah, it is going to take it. Wait a second, and after some time you'll see that the secondary for group 1 is standby, and the pings are still going on. There is no disruption for the pings there. Still, you can see active, failover active. If I go here, say show failover, this is on standby both. It will take some time to preempt, Yeah, now it has gone to standby. Now this will be active. Yeah, so this is back to the state that it was. So yeah, so that was it for this video. Hope you liked my video. I mean, this is a major concept, and it is hard, but if you try, practice yourself, and watch this video again and again, and read books about this topic, you will surely get this topic done. And yeah, so that was all for this video. Hope to see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.